Hey guys, so I bought this 4-piece sanding drum set. It comes in this big plastic piece. So you basically get 4 drums, a couple of adapters. Each of them come with this, and this is what holds the sandpaper in. It's actually kind of a neat design. And they give you this little tool to help get them down in the grooves. I'll show you that in a second. So there's your directions. And this is kind of a disjointed English. It doesn't give you a whole lot of information. I bought these because I need a way to sand that isn't high speed. I want power assist, but I don't want high speed. And these are recommended 1750, maximum 3850. I want to go a lot slower than that. I want to put them in this drill, clamp down the drill, have it turn very slow so I don't get too aggressive. Very delicate pieces I need to sand, and I don't want to overdo it. So the problem is that by default these have 1/2-inch shanks. This drill is 3/8. I don't have a lot of 1/2-inch drills, and I don't want to dedicate it to this. So they give you 2 adapters, a 1/4 and a 3/8. I kind of overdid taking this apart to show you how this works. So you have these adapters, and they have a little indentation right there. This flange has a set screw, and you simply put those in there, line those up. Now this is the 3/8, this is the 1/2, and this is the 1/4. The 1-inch comes with the 1/4, so that's okay. I can use that without any problem. So I've got these 3 that only have 1/2, so I've got a 1/4 and a 3/8, so I've got 2 of them. What am I going to do for the 3rd? Haven't figured that out yet. I was thinking that I would use these with different grits. We'll see how that goes. So I'll take the 3/8 and put in here, and that indentation is what sets it to the right length. Okay, so I realize these are probably metric, but 5/32 seems to fit this okay. And I'll set it in there. That seems to work okay. Tighten that. That's okay. Now these are just a very, very hard plastic. And what they've done, this has an indentation for this ring so that it always goes in the right place, and that's how you keep your center. So they just drilled into that plastic with these screws. Now this is nothing fancy, but I would not use a powered screwdriver to screw these in. Once you strip those, you'll have to rotate it, drill new holes, self-thread them with these screws. I really just don't want to go down that path. So I'll do it by hand. I took this apart to get a better angle on how it goes together and these adapters work. A lot harder than it seems, and they give you this to help put that in there. A lot harder than it seems, but you get better with time. You do not have to take that flange off to replace these. I did that to show how it's constructed. What you do is you put this in here, and you line up the oval this way. You do what you have to do to get it in there. There we go. And you can see I don't have that tight. But you now take a screwdriver and you rotate that, and now that won't come out. But I didn't get it tight enough. I'm gonna have to redo that. Okay, so here's what they look like folded up. And these are 80 grit. It seems like Harbor Freight gives you 80 grit on just about all of its tools. Below freezing in the shop today, so it's a little cold. And they give you these extra pieces, and they're 80 grit also, of course. But they're the right size for each adapter. I don't want 80 grit. This is actually an odd size, so you have to tear up sheets to get it. But I went and bought these. These are from Harbor Freight. They're several dollars. I don't know. $6, $7. Bought these a long time ago. And it does spin in that. Not real easy, but it does. This is 2 3/4, and these are 3. I'm okay with that. I'll sacrifice a little bit of space to have a ready-made roll. This is 240, which is about what I want. I also got a 120. Actually, one of both. I'll do one of each of these. And why I'm so glad they gave us these is, hey, ready-made. Since it's sandpaper, I don't want to use a good knife. This is like an emery paper. It would actually tear fairly easy. Now comes the fun. So I'm going to put this one all the way in. And I don't want to take a chance on tearing these up. And by the way, these are like a dust magnet. Wow. It's hard to get it off once it's on. So I'll put that in there. And I'll wrap it around as tight as I can get it. I want to be sure when I use this I don't tear up that plastic backing. And if you get it too long, it actually makes it harder to get together. And you can see that I've got that pretty tight. Maybe not tight enough, but pretty tight. You really kind of got to work on that. Okay, and here is the oval. You put the oval in like this. Squeeze that in. Take a screwdriver and rotate it. And I want to get that as in as I can. And I want to rotate that. Now that will hold it in. I've got a tiny bit of air, but let's see how that works. That's a 3/8, so that'll go in just fine. See, I can go low speed, and that's actually why I got this. I use these ratcheting clamps a lot, but they're not my favorite clamp. They work good, they're just not my favorite clamp. There's a million ways to do this. This is just how I'm doing it. That is not square. Now, I rarely show dust collection in a video like this, but something like this, it's very hard to get good dust collection on. What I did in this case is I put a fan on one side blowing this way. I put a fan on this side blowing that way. Then I have a filter in the one over here. Keeps all the dust moving that way, and the filter theoretically picks it up. It's not perfect, so I also wear a respirator. And if I'm sanding and there's any chance of getting dust in the air, I wear a respirator. If I don't, no matter how careful I am, I get it in my lungs. It takes me a couple days to get rid of it. I don't like that. So I don't recommend doing it without dust collection. So there's that one. There's a little bit of run out on that. Let's put this other one on, and I'll show you how to do it without taking it apart. Loosen this, and you have to take it almost all the way out. Don't think this is a recipe for no vibration and no run out. They all have the same run out. I honestly do not believe that's my drill, but we're going to check that in a minute. Now the problem with this is I don't have an adapter for this now. They only gave you 2 and you need 3. So I've got to pick which 3 of these 4 I want to use. I've got these pieces for Intarsia, and I want to use this to round the edges. There we go, that's going to work out great. So the different sizes are going to be important when I do the different radiuses. When I get up in here to do these radiuses, I want to use a smaller radius. I'll probably put the 1 inch on for there. I'll have to play with that and see what works better. But as you can see, that's going to work okay. So I've got 120 on this one. I'll put 240 on this one. And I'll leave 80 on this one, although I don't intend to use 80 very often. And that'll give me a nice variety, and I can just switch out the drums. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do it this way. It's a little awkward and takes a little bit of getting used to put this on so that there's no gaps or anything. This drill might actually have a little less run out, but it still has a little bit of run out. I think I'm going to blame the drills and not this. Okay, very, very little run out. So I'll use it on this. So I've got 120, 240, and 80. I can go low speed, I can go high speed. I can also adapt this into other things with a 1/2 inch shaft without too much problems. Okay, so if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.